it's just in general, like when it comes to American foreign policy, the American media is fairly one note. Our politicians are one note on it too. They're bipartisan on that.
Right.
That's like,
so when you say that, do you mean that they're all in on the same? It's all kind of the same ruse. Do you mean?
yeah. They all agree. It's always uniparty when it comes to American foreign policy. When it comes to giving money to Israel. When it comes to a lot of that stuff, like going to war with Iraq. Right. You got the media also presenting that lie that they have, chemical weapons, they have weapons of mass destruction, and uncritically reporting on that to justify going to war with Iraq, going and invading a foreign nation that we had no business invading.
Right.
So that happens all the time.
Do you think that that's starting to get upset even by like podcasting, streaming? Do you think that apple cart's starting to change? It feels like.
Oh, for sure. I think that
just because people have a voice.
Media, the independent media sphere definitely is like dominating, partially because of that reason. Sometimes for bad reasons. People have lost confidence in media when they just don't like what they're reporting, even if they're reporting the truth. And then there are plenty of major reasons, like Jeffrey Epstein's death. Like you go to any outlet, most of them are going to rule it a suicide. No critical reporting on it whatsoever. Just unconditionally saying like, no, it was definitely a suicide. Like. The average American doesn't feel that way. And also there's very valid reasons as to why they don't feel that way. Israel is another great example of this, where like it was like 80% of Americans wanted a ceasefire. And yet if you look at all the way from CNN to Fox News, every single outlet was just like, no, you don't understand. Israel has to kill these children. Like, please. No, you don't understand. Oh. Like, can you imagine? Imagine a role reversal in that situation where like you got Osama bin Laden's best lads on CNN immediately after 9/11 being like, listen, like we had to blow up the Twin Towers. Like you don't, the World Trade Center, it was right there. It was asking for it.
One of them was a little askew.
Yeah. We had to fix it.
I think it's crazy. Well, there's that famous video that got shared a few years ago, like during COVID, when it was like every channel was reporting the same exact. It was just the same script. It was almost just
Sinclair Broadcasting.
Yeah.
So that's ironically a lot of right wingers spread that one.
Is that true or not?
No, it is. But that's right wing. That's Sinclair Broadcasting. It's like a right wing media company that basically bought out all the remaining local news broadcasters.
Wow.
So it's like an umbrella. Right-wing media is all over the place, actually, and a lot of people don't realize it. Like whenever Fox News talks about like mainstream media lies, I'm like, bro, you are the most popular news network in the country. What do you mean mainstream media? Like you're dominating everybody else. Good point.
So you're saying that a lot of times mainstream media is also right-wing media.
Yeah, right-wing media is so dominant. And in the independent side, right-wing media is dominant as hell too. But like on the mainstream side, right-wing media is incredibly dominant. They dominate the local news with Sinclair Broadcasting, and also all the way up to Fox News, which is the most famous, which is the most like successful network news broadcaster in the country.
Is Fox News the most watched news network?
By widest margins.
Really? I didn't even know that.
It's not even close. CNN and MSNBC, Trump always talks about how CNN and NBC are in the pooper. Their ratings are awful. These guys love presenting themselves as vulnerable victims, and I really always get annoyed by that. Like they say that about They used to always say that about like Facebook too. They're like, oh, they're banning stuff. And I'm sure they banned like vaccine denial or whatever, right? Because Facebook wanted to be woke and liberal until Mark Zuckerberg got hit with the Dominican Ray. But
so then when people say mainstream media, then I guess what did it, because it always felt to me like, that every outlet was just always super liberal. That's what it felt like.
They are. No, for sure. Like a lot of, like the New York Times, you got CNN, ABC, CBS, like NBC. These outlets are liberal. Now, obviously, I'm a little bit of a radical, I guess. So I'm definitely not fond of the Democratic Party either, even though my criticisms of the Democrats are because of their closeness to the Republicans in general. But yeah, they are. I would say that they're definitely liberal, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they're like on the side of the people or anything like that, or on even the progressive side of many of these issues. And that's why I said there's this uniparty attitude, like liberals and Republicans. They basically come together and agree when it comes to giving more money to Israel.
Yeah.
Not the voters. I'm talking like institutions. I'm talking politicians.
Yeah,
in
well,
general.
that seems to be, I think it feels so far away from being represented. Like the people feel so far away from being represented. And I feel like that seems like it's gotten further and further in my lifetime. I can't tell if it's just because I'm getting older and so you hear about more stuff like that, or if it's actually true. But I think people just feel like, like, why are we having to audit our own government, whether or not the means that they're going about it are good or not. But it's like the fact that people are cheering to have our own government audited